right, everybody, you're here, and so am I. Welcome, I'm Hambbage, and we're going to play some more hardcore vanilla Minecraft. And check this out while we're waiting for this world to load up, because it does take a minute. On the trusty, dusty, rusty old laptop, we are going to, I'm going to admit, I just had an amazing inspiration. I can't credit anybody. It finally came to me, and you guys probably were like, dude, come on, man, you never use this thing. We're gonna set up the beacon because I don't think we've used it for. Wow, look at all that activity going on underground. I don't think we've used it for real work at all. And by my calculations, this should be good to go with minimal area clearing. We might have to. Do we have? Now, of course, we have nothing. What does that do? I mean, I like the waterfall and all. It's just a little ridiculous how far it's spreading. I do it? Alright. Now, what was our shape again? Is it 9 by 9? I think it's 4 stories tall, right? I don't know if these are actually going to be in the way, but let's get them out of here. Yeah, now that we finished up the dirt, I guess some of you folks may not know exactly what's going on. We're digging out this hole, bounded by the outer netherrack for a landing area for our shulker. Let's just start here. Is it? So, beacon, 3, 5s, 7s, 9s. I think this is it, right? Oh, too many. Oh, is our bed still over there? Let's just go ahead and sleep while I figure this out. Man, it's been so long since we've even done it. Well, this is the perfect time to do this. Beacons, when they're fully charged, which this one will be, have a radius of 50. Wait, dang it. I'll get it. I promise. And so that covers the depth that we're going to go to in this hole by far, and reaches out across that way far enough to get us the full benefit as well. So, very good. Oh, that's okay. Did I miss one there? So yeah, obviously we made the beacon to help us out in or to get the advancements, right? That was the whole point. But in our various projects, we've either not been in a very good spot or not had the ooh, I guess this is the time where borrow out of them. We have every chest out. We do this. We do this. Just need one. This can go away. This really can go away, I think. If I end up having to pull more of that out for the stone cutter eventually. Alright, here. Alright. That's underway. We'll grab that. Let's just have a spare here. Let's put all of this random extra stuff up. And it can go away too. Isn't it gorgeous? Alright, there's our haste 2. And this should get us pretty well covered as we dig here. So, hole digging. Let's get after you. What this may do is make working into these corners tougher. Oh, and you can see, isn't that nice? See how it didn't manage to fall in the hole today? Very good. So yeah, I'm kind of ashamed to admit I didn't even think of that this morning as I was making up some coffee and just sitting around like, all right, we get to get back in the hole. And I am still shockingly excited about this. It's probably for most people. It's pretty fun to be back in the overworld with scenery around us, and we're not doing anything that amazing in terms of emptying out the hole, but oh, it's just kind of nice opportunity to make this real progress on something I wanted to do for years, literally, in Minecraft, and that's how did we get here? So this is my own plan to do so. May not be the most refined or efficient plan. Like you may be like, oh no, I've seen Johnny Streamer do this, and Johnny Streamer does it this way, and so you should do it that way, and it'll be fun. Um, well, I honestly, for my own sake and everybody else's, I hope I don't get to a point where I'm like, oh, I totally did that backwards or wrong, and now we've got a problem we have to go fix. I think that would be pretty frustrating and annoying, not just for you guys, but for me as well. But I would like to figure a lot of this stuff out on my own, and that's kind of where it's the delicate line. The assist I got on the 0-0 piece was a huge help, right? Because doing all this and setting everything else up and then coming back to find, oh, you built all this in the wrong place, that would stink for me, for you guys, for everybody else. We'd then just have to go back and start over again. So that piece, I think is, it's probably in all our best interest when people kind of step in and try to avoid that. But I don't mind if I fail, and I don't mind if what I do, like digging this hole, I think it's a bigger area. I think we could likely save some time not doing all this, and just, for one thing, we could just let them pop the shulkers wherever they are, and then just go deal with them. That'd be one thing. But I'm not real sure about, after our experience at the end city with our test shulkers, about confidently getting them into boats or Minecrafts, or minecarts, crafts. They are in Minecraft. They aren't going anywhere. So that's a thing. And if we can start in here with a shulker in a spot that will make that as easy as possible or as predictable as possible, I'm all for it. Yeah, look at our shovel. This is what we were talking about. We've got a few shovels, but not as many as we do picks. But then again, hopefully we don't have as much dirt as we do shovels either. Of course, here's our deal. And we haven't really... I guess we haven't gotten there yet. Let's go ahead and start these chests as the random stone types. We'll do more sorting of all that as we go. Oh, I forgot to get another shovel. And is it almost nighttime now? Alright, let's do this a little more wisely. We'll still be making runs because I'm not at the point where I'm just going to disregard materials. So we'll probably be climbing this ladder pretty often. Let's get more shovel ready to go. That's close, but we, if we can use what we've got of this one. Oh, we got it. got a little wild over there. Ooh. Maybe do some wall patching. Eventually, all those walls underneath the netherrack will get replaced. But I'm not too crazy about the idea of having little pockets where mobs could spawn and drop on us in the meantime. That's why we want a little outside the area to get out trees. How are we doing here? I'm amazed. I thought we would be more full. Alright, go do a quick drop off. We're already 5 or 6 down, and we're only going 17, so this is not all that bad. And pretty nice having the... Oh, shoot. Having the others here. Sand we're going to want to do too. Let's do these will maybe get morphed into more random stuff. There's that. Do we still have this green shulk around here? Yep. Can keep those two. Let's put the flint away though. Alright. Not bad, right? Now we've got 2 layers of rainy work to get done. Get a little better at not touching the blocks below, because if we leave holes, then we fall into them, and those make more holes. Ooh, look at that nice old beacon. Shining proud. Statue of Liberty. All right. Another 2 layers down. Oh, are we already full again? Oh, I guess we're grabbing. All right, let's do. These are. We don't have to prove anything to anybody. These are both pretty good. And hopefully, we've got enough usage left out of the tools that we have, not to have to worry about it. Let's do a stone outer edge first, and then we'll come back for the dirt on this one. Ooh, extra dirt. That kind of dirt is the enemy. Alright, then there's this little bit. Never quite as pleasant. Surrounded with all that lakeside gravel, which I don't know, did they... With the terrain generation stuff, I mean, I guess this would be older, but are gravel pockets more likely, like clay and other stuff, to be around lakes? It would make sense a lot of times, where you find a gravel quarry, that's the site of an ancient riverbed, right? Because the erosion is what breaks those stones up down into cobbles or gravel or whatever. So, maybe. Sure would seem that there where we did the lake filling, there's more gravel around. Maybe that's just random. We'll gather it all. Oh, is this quicker or is the little side-by-side sloppy? This deal. No, it isn't dirt. Sneaky gravel. Alright, I think at least we're worth swapping back over to our shovel. Let's drop off more stuff. This is where all our stone shortage goes away. And apparently our andesite shortage as well. One piece of dirt, we'll have lots more of that coming. Alright, I guess I should start doing this. Ooh. Of course it's sleeping time now. Let's see if we can get this outer edge done without making too many holes. Sheesh. Alright, how many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? We could do torches and start our work through the night campaign. Still may get some going in the middle, but no. Do that. Remember, this is 118. We don't need regular frequent torches, just enough to kind of light this up a bit. I'm still getting blocks below. I guess that's maybe a blessing right there, right? Do that. Now, we need to throw a few more torches on this far wall. There we go. We may have a little bit of darkness in range, but should keep mob spawns to a minimum down in the hole itself, where at least we can work till our inventory fills up like that. That is not where I should stop for coffee, because I'm always worried something's gonna come strolling up. It's gonna be close. Also, are any of these into overflow yet? That can come out. We have sand over here as well, too, right? That. Gravel. What are we doing with gravel? Let's put it in with sand. I don't know. Do we have any other gravel? Have I misplaced gravel? I don't see any. Okay. Well, we'll put it with sand. Also, those two can go where? Alright. So much dirt. clay, though. Some squeaky brakes outside. That's what it sounds like. Somebody can't whistle very well. Makes me wonder if maybe there's going to be moving activity going on. We did have those great carpet cleaners the other day. Doing a couple different units, it seemed like. So maybe that's somebody just pulling up and lining up a moving truck after the holiday weekend. That would make a lot of sense, I think. Makes a lot of sense to me. Stop for a snack. Oh, so sloppy. Am I overly cautious about those holes at this point? I think so. Shouldn't be too much more depth to them. Enough. This should take us over halfway through the hole, so while I don't think we're going to get quite done with it today, it wasn't quite as instant as I thought. Setting up the beacon did take just a minute, and has really sped this up. And we could do more if I wasn't constantly running back up to unload my pockets into chests, but with hardcore and building and stuff, you never know when the project is going to be the one where you want the stuff that you've previously been thrown away. So we'll keep at it. And I think by the time we are done, down here, oh, there went our central torch. Drop it again. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to be feeling for the next tomorrow or the next day. I suspect we need more, both coal and sandstone. We're going to need to, at some point, repair up these tools, but I think we should be fine in terms of shovel and picks, that we don't have to do that immediately. And even though it's now been a while, we were doing a lot of repairing back kind of Thanksgiving into Christmas time. It seemed like that was constantly our deal. So maybe enjoy the luxury of lots of tools and kind of get everything down a little bit first. Whew. So, 2.5 days. It's not quite that much when you consider a lot of the streamers out there are working full 256 diameter perimeters in their nether digs and for machines and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not trying to make you guys suffer too much. There's our definite extra dirt, but hopefully 2 blocks for these guys. And 1 for these guys. We'll put the clay in with the sand and the gravel too. They're all kind of construction-y. Those. Looking good. Looking like a foundation to a big skyscraper. Ooh, shh. Let's not get any ideas. We got some big projects to go, but it does kind of look like, you're in a city and you go by and you can see down into one of the crazy foundation holes that's below. Alright, so the good news is all of the lake bottom area is now very confined to small space. This all does kind of 2 purposes. For one thing, it is good to go around and pick up all the stuff, I think. But the other is with haste, especially in the dirt areas, it's giving us one more chance to see if there's any invisible blocks hanging around. I am a little concerned, not overly, but a little bit, that we're going to run into a problem where the shulker may find that there are invisible blocks we missed just out in space that it can anchor to when it gets done. That would be not ideal. Alright, start more stone. Cool down. Alright, let's check time real quick and I get coffee. We got 20 minutes, guys. We may just... Okay. I'm going to do this right today. Look, it's almost night. Stars. I see stars. I see stars, game. That's not so bad anymore. Alright, I think this is a... stone side. Or stone first. Man, sloppy. Might have been better to just dig out that dirt. The little bit that's left. Alright, I decided I had to go check because there was a huge, engine revving noise, and the thing that I was worried about, not for my own vehicle, was tow trucks. the rental people. I don't know, what do you call the people that run the apartment complex? I know the word, just can't think of it. Um, they do a pretty good job of towing out uh, broken down cars, or I think, hate to say it, but I think the truth is, if people steal a car and go for, if it's kids or whatever, and they go for a joyride, I don't know. I don't think I hope I don't know any car thieves. But when they do get done with it or want to get away, apartment complexes are often places where they'll go to dump because, I'm sitting here and I'm like, yeah, I recognize a few of my neighbors' cars and know who they belong to, but there's enough turnover and there's enough people coming and going and friends stopping by and all that you don't necessarily recognize everything. And I think everywhere is kind of like, when you rent, you sign up your car too, so that they have your license plate, make and model, and all that, so that they know, hey, here's whose cars. Now, I've been here for a few whiles. I think few years. Most of the people that work here and all that know me, know which vehicle belongs to me, all that kind of stuff. So I wasn't at all worried, like, oh, they're going to tow my truck. I was worried that sometimes when they do that, they've got to maneuver out a car that might be parked beside you. And I was hearing all this sound right, kind of straight ahead. And my truck is kind of straight ahead in the spot just to the left. Like, it's right where I was hearing all the noise. And I was like, if they are getting set to pull something else out, either because, and I say all that, that's the unexpected broken down. A lot of times people have a car that's got a problem, right? It starts breaking down on the way home. You limp it home and then call a tow to get it to the shop. So a lot of times you'll see people out there like, yeah, this one, I got a big problem. But these guys are going to help me out. So in those cases, I'm not as worried about it. It's when they're coming in to extract a vehicle that's just been sitting idle, and I come to think of it, I don't think anything near me has been idle for too long. Mine has probably been idle the longest just because it's been so nice, and well, this is fun filler for the last little bit. So in the Denver area, there's a strike going on with grocery workers, and I think it's a week or so it's been going on. I don't understand. I guess my background and my inclination from my own work experience is I'm not a huge organized labor guy, but as a historian and as a person, I certainly support the ability to organize and strike, and I think it is an important, hugely important tool for the people and the employees, the labor, to hold companies and business owners in check so that abuses can't continue. That being said, and for things like airline workers and back when this country had an important auto workers kind of deal, and that was now we assemble cars here from parts made in other countries just to let Ford and Chevy and all those say, oh yeah, we're American cars. We make just as many Hondas and Toyotas in this country as we do American cars because all those parts get shipped here too. So it's very gray. Anyway, that's not the point here. The point is, I am a big supporter of people striking. I think it is the right of labor to do so, and I think that when you need to do it, you should. However, I also think that like the big businesses, who really gets the benefit when you stand outside with a picket in your hand fighting for your job and your benefits and all that, it's the people holding the purse strings behind the union, right? They're collecting your dues, and it's always going to roll downhill. So while you may get that extra break or that extra couple bucks or some perks on medical and all that, which are important, and I do understand that. A lot of times, the people that are organizing it are not only promoting a message to the public to try to, they're selling a story to their own people as well. And those backroom negotiations where these things get settled aren't done with, in this case, the person that runs the cash register that I buy my groceries from, who I support. I want to have earn a comfortable wage and all that kind of stuff. But you know, when the deal gets done with the big brass at the corporation that runs all the grocery stores and the representation of the union, they're negotiating on behalf of their members, and it's certainly historically, and that's really my background here. I've studied a lot of this from 20th century and 19th century American history. A lot of what goes down. A lot of times, the grease that's needed, I should say, to get past a sticking point in negotiations is, hey, well, we can take care of you. How committed are those people? And I don't know enough about this situation to say one way or another. I'm not calling out the leadership of the grocery store union as being abusive or anything like that, or abusing their position. I just, I know lawyers just on their hourly wage alone are going to do very well in these kinds of situations. And so it's been going on for a week. And, just cashiers and stockers and all those kind of people, not stalkers, you sickos, shelf stockers are out there on the picket line stating their case. And what I find odd, they're telling people not to cross, and customers, don't cross our picket line, don't support the store while we're in there. And that's the piece that I'm getting to, and why I spent all that time kind of prefacing, because I want to be open with you guys, but I also don't want it to appear that like what I'm about to say is just pure ridicule. But I have studied a lot of labor back and forth as it applies historically in our country, not so much around the world, but I mean, it kind of persists, right? And here in the United States, the most notable strikes that we go through every few years are teachers. I think is teachers and the airline stuff, whether it's flight attendants, pilots, or air traffic controllers. Those are high visibility, high notice kind of deals, and those tend to be national, right? Well, not teachers at all. Teachers are all local school districts and can be just like this one that's going on. But airline workers and all that, very noticeable nationally. In the 80s, when I was growing up, it would be auto workers, and those had a big national impact. And I guess that's kind of what I'm contexting what my view of this grocery strike in is the big auto worker strikes of the 80s, when real big tough unions, were saying, "Hey, we're not gonna budge," and that's kind of what makes this grocery thing a little laughable to me. They didn't go into a strike with like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna strike this long. If you can weather the storm, then we'll go back to our jobs." No, they were like, "We're striking, and it's on, and we don't know what the outcome's going to, kind of a total war type deal. We don't know what the outcome's going to be, but it may get ugly, and if it does, that was part of the negotiating deal was uh, we're walking off the job not because we haven't had a yearly raise in a couple of years or whatever, but and I don't know all the specifics of the grocery store when I don't look that closely, but we are. Uh, you know, we don't have enough to maintain our life. That we're close now. Um, our life or our lifestyle, things are all out dangerous. And if you go back another 50, 100 years, the coal miners' strikes in the U.S. history and the railroad strikes and some of those were deadly. Here in Colorado, that whole area that just had the Marshall Mesa fire, that was all coal mine country. And I've gone out in while I was doing photography of birds and that kind of stuff, just kind of walking through the fields and roadsides and all that. And there are still concrete embankments out there where the little town of Marshall and some of those were company mine towns because there's coal underneath all of that. And they were positions where machine guns were mounted to overlook the town in case they got, quote unquote, uppity as miners and started to cause trouble. I mean that to me is striking and labor versus industry. Duking it out where the stakes were life and death, and I guess a part of that is it's really good. We now have media and all that. If a company came in and hired a bunch of toughs to be strike busters and went and beat everybody up, or likewise the picketers started getting violent with people that did cross the picket lines, it would be on the front page of every website and in every nightly news. That would be a huge deal. So we don't have to worry about that, and that's good. And some of this seems a little more lighthearted, I guess. But then again, you got to think, these are grocery store clerks. They're baggers and checkout people. And as I say, my car hasn't moved in this last week because my groceries have actually run down a little bit. I haven't gone and done a big grocery store trip, in part just because it's hassle and you don't want to get involved in all that. But I guess hey, I'll just see how it plays out, see how long it lasts, and if they resolve it before I have to go in, I'll avoid it. So I guess is that support? Inadvertently, I guess, but hey, it is what it is, and I'm sure that's part of what they're counting on. But I'm just amazed. So the first, I see a little bit of news coverage, and the first thing I heard was one of my friends over the weekend was like, "Oh yeah, I accidentally crossed the picket line. I had to go buy cat food, and I was more afraid of." My cat who sleeps in my bed giving me dirty looks and clawing my face open because it didn't get food than a grocery store worker giving me a dirty look because I went in to buy the cat food I needed. And, yeah, it's a little bit of that. But when I came, again, this was the first I'd heard of it. This tells you how much I watch local news and all that. I guess I'd known that there was labor dispute, but to what extent or how much I didn't know. So I kind of unknowingly, as I was hearing this and then meeting up with the friends, I was like, well, that shouldn't matter. In my understanding and the technical definition of a strike, the workers are walking out. and they're flexing, right? And it's the correct term. They're flexing their strength to the company by saying, if we walk out, you can't get by without us. There's too much work to be done, and if you bring in the unskilled people that aren't a part of this union, just effectively day laborers, because that's what they do. They go, okay, we'll give you huge cash to come in here short term and work in these positions. And in the case of a grocery bagger, that may not be super difficult. If you're assembling Fords or Chevys or Dodges or whatever, it may be a lot tougher to find people that can come in a pinch and make that happen. But that's the point of the strike is, hey, business, you think you're so tough? Well, you can't fill all your orders. You can't handle your day-to-day operations without us. We're important. We're essential. And that's the part where I'm like, yes, absolutely. You need to be able to strike to maintain that value if your company isn't paying based on the value that you provide and the merit within the company. So yes, I'm a part of that, and I was like, well, yeah, don't feel bad about going in to buy your cat food. You're not hurting their effort if you do that, because technically they want the company, or should want the company, to struggle to satisfy their customers, because you go in there and there's nobody to ring you out and there's nobody to do your bagging. That kind of, again, the shelves stocked, all that kind of stuff, I think is the real bigger impact now, and it's part of the reality, right? It's part of this situation is that the grocery stores understand. Think about it. How many times when you go in to buy a soda or a bag of chips or something, speaking to the younger folks here, but just a quick thing, for me, it's I go in because I need a gallon of milk or a thing of eggs or something, and it's 5 items or less. You're not talking to anybody. You're going to the automated checkout, and if you don't go to the automated checkout, even if you do have a big load and all that, how often do you end up bagging your own groceries? And this is, not at the quick economy tier grocery place. This is it's not Whole Foods, but it's the nicer kind of everyday person's grocery store, right? Where they usually do have baggers, but they're very often there's not enough to keep up, and if you want to get out of there quickly, you do it yourself while the person is scanning the items. You're putting them into bags and moving on, or at least I am. I don't know. I find it more fun than just standing there pretending like I want to watch the screen calculate every items that I buy. So their strike is not technically a strike, is what I found out, and that's the story here. It's a boycott. And when I went online after I'd had this conversation, because I was like, oh yeah, no, their signs say don't, customers don't cross the line. You need to go by it and cross. She said, oh, I crossed the picket line. I was like, what? Did you go get a job? She kind of looked at me, and I was like, well, that's what crossing a picket line is. You're a scab. You're the person that's taking money to help the company get out of the jam of not having their typical labor. Like, no, I just bought groceries, but I definitely got some dirty looks from everybody as I did that. I was like, oh, well, that's a boycott. That's not a strike, right? A strike, they should be welcoming you in and going, everybody go to the grocery store and make it chaos. If they really wanted to make an impactful strike, they would have done it over Christmas when everybody's in there and the stores are jammed because everybody the day before Christmas wants to get all the good fresh stuff from the bakery and all that. That's the time that you pull your labor. They don't do that. This is This was already scheduled, and it's so silly. It's like, oh, we're going to have a walkout date planned in advance. They use that as a negotiating tool. If they don't get the contract they want, then they walk out. And now I hear, so now I've kind of been checking up on this. So it is the official stance is do not go patronize this grocery store while we're striking, which is silly on so many economic levels. If the parent company is upset or negatively impacted, yeah, ultimately you may get your contract and go back, but they're going to shut down the stores and they're going to eliminate positions. So overall, the employees are worse off if you force them into consolidation. And then the first ones to go are the small old stores, like the one close to me, the ones with the least amount of technology and the least amount of room to expand the automated checkout areas and all that kind of stuff. But guess what? They will bounce back and they'll go, oh, this area could still use another store. It'll become bigger. It'll become more modernized. The current space will become a gym because that's what they all do. And then there will be fewer bagger and checker jobs to do because they will have made it more appealing to people not to use any of that. So you're kind of playing into their hands by saying, don't support the business. So I'm left scratching my head. Like I don't blame the workers. I think that they are probably a little bit talked into this. Um, I don't understand the whole grocery union thing because a lot of the people that work there are not union. So there's gray area there. It's not a mandatory or universal thing. Um, so I don't understand that. But from my side, I do wonder what is the mentality around a strike that doesn't emphasize labor. It just attempts as the negotiating tool. Instead of doing that, it just goes, we're just going to try to dry up your funding so that while we're sitting in this boardroom we can go. That would be a good tactic, except they've already, I heard on the news last night when I was kind of like, what's going on, that the workers have agreed to stay on strike as long as February 2nd. So how do you go in and go, oh, well, yeah, if you don't give us the deal we want, we'll be back in, it was less than a month, but 3 weeks. Like, that doesn't make it. So I don't know if anybody can, if anybody's involved with it here, let me know. I don't want it to get political, but understand. I do want the folks to get their angle, get some kind of concessions out of this, and I'm sure that they will. I'm sure something will be negotiated in the middle, and everybody will go back, and everybody will still go, "Whoa, we're gonna get you next time," kind of deal. But I hope it doesn't end with the loss of or the closing of my King Supers as a first thing, and I do hope they can kind of work it out. And with that end date, does that just mean that the 3 weeks are kind of planned as okay? Well, nobody's going to get anything until those weeks are over. I don't know. So we'll keep an eye on it and see. I'll keep you posted when I get to groceries. But that's why my truck hasn't moved in a while. Um, it's been too nice. I've been walking, and it's been no need to go get full groceries. So we'll see if I crack before they do, or if I just go for a drive. Anyway, you guys are awesome. We've gone over an hour here. I was just finishing up the story, and that's why I just stood here. We made great progress. Look at this hole. This hole is amazing. If we hang that side, that's the lava. We know there's one cover and then a walkway underneath. So down there, we're at 3 layers, so maybe 4 total layers left. Pretty good. We'll get it next time, and then start deciding if we want to do the decorative bit or the searching around bit. If you have a preference, do you prefer to go look for a water temple in an expanding circle around this, or do you prefer to pretty up this and do the what will kind of become a ceiling on the stuff below, but the slabbed floor that will go here so that we can force the shulker to a particular point? or do we want to tour? So we'll see. All right, you guys take care. I will be streaming here in about 20 minutes, starting up with Stardew Valley. Of course, this will come up later, but if you're watching this one, know that the timing is about the same for following days, and that is I record these somewhere in the 8 to 9 hour, and then probably start streaming in the 9:30 to 10. I'm going to see how this goes for about a week or so, if I want to change it up or not. But yeah, if you're in the Mountain Time Zone and it's mid-morning, come on over to Twitch. Check me out. If you're in Europe, it's going to be evening time. I don't know exactly when, how all that accounts, 7 or 8 hours ahead. And if you're in Eastern time, 2 hours ahead. So noon to 4 p.m. kind of time frame. So we'll see you there. Take care. Bye now. Save, and I'm out of here. Bye, guys.